I think the most dangerous part of a journey to the moon and back is the moment of return to Earth. When a spacecraft comes back to Earth, it has to break through the thick atmosphere at extremely high speed. It falls at nearly Mach 30. In a way, it is almost like a meteorite carrying people inside. As it enters the atmosphere, the air is compressed and heated to temperatures of over 1 degrees Celsius. If the spacecraft survives that process, it deploys parachute at the proper altitude and splashes down into the ocean. That is the method used for lunar return missions. Basically, they always land into the sea. What is really interesting is that astronauts returning from the International Space Station often land on land. Russian astronauts, for example, usually land into the desert when they return to Earth. But during the Apollo missions, and now with the Artemis missions, spacecraft returning from the moon land into the ocean. There is an important difference here. The International Space Station is not at a very high altitude compared to the moon. When astronauts return from that height, the speed does not become as extreme. With parachutes and retro rockets, the descent speed can be controlled enough for a land landing. In Russia's case, there are not many surrounding oceans. And because the launch site is located near Kazakhstan, it is more practical to use the vast desert areas for landing. China does the same thing. When Chinese astronauts return to Earth, they usually land in desert areas in Inner Mongolia. So astronauts returning from a space station usually land on the ground. But when a spacecraft returns from the moon, the speed becomes much higher during the journey back. That makes landing on land extremely dangerous. That is why lunar return capsules are designed to splash down into the ocean. Once the capsule lands into the water, it acts like a boat. The astronauts stay inside until a ship or helicopter arrives to rescue them. Then they can return safely.